Hey guys and girls, so welcome to 4.3 of our chapter. I'm going to be kind of combining 4.2 and 4.3. So today we're going to use a table of values to represent a sequence. So which means if we're trying to figure out a particular pattern, there are two things that we need to know. We need to know what the term number is, and we need to know what the term value is. So this is going to make sense in a little bit. So when we're dealing with term numbers, basically just say we had a pattern like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. The term numbers are literally these numbers here. Like this is the first term number, that's the second term number, that's the third, that's the fourth, etc. Same if we had a pattern like this. This is the first term number because it's the first number that occurs in the sequence. This is the second term number. That's the third, that's the fourth. So it's basically where the number falls in the sequence. Okay? So this is always going to be chronological, which means you start at 1 and you continue. Okay? Now the term value is in that number 1 position. What's the value of the number? So this is going to be 2. For the second term number, this is the second term number, and the value is 4. This is the third term number, the value is 6. This is the fourth term number, the value is 8. Okay? So in this particular lesson, we're going to be using pictures. So I'm just going to fill this in. Okay. So these dots were kind of hard to draw, but so for the first, we're going to fill out the term value now. So we have the first term number is 1. In the picture, it shows 1 counter or dot or what have you. So the term value would be 1. For figure number 2 or term number 2, so again, term number can also be called figure number. There are 4 dots, so the term value is 4. For the term number 3 or figure number 3, there are 9 dots.
Luciano, can you come?
There are 9 dots, so we put 9 as the term value. For the fourth term number or the fourth figure number, there are 16 dots, so the value is 16. So now we have to figure out what the pattern is. So in grade 7, we use language like start with 2, add 5, or something like that. It gets a little more complicated in grade 8, but that's kind of what the language we're going to be using this year. So what I like to do is first, using your term values, you go from one number to the next and see what it is increasing by. So to get from 1 to 4, what are you adding? 3. To get from 4 to 9, what are you adding? 5. To get from 9 to 16, what are you adding? 7. Okay, so that's how you start to find a pattern. You take the term values, take all of these, and you say from one term value to the next, what is it increasing by? Okay, so we have it increasing by 3, then increasing by 5, then increasing by 7. So there's different ways to kind of see these patterns, and you know, some of it can be a little bit complicated, but for this particular pattern, you're starting at 1, and you're not adding the same number each time, because the first one you're adding 3, then 5, then 7. So what does 3, 5, and 7 have in common? They're all odd numbers. So the pattern for this one would be start at 1 and add the next odd number. So start at 1, add the next odd number. Because at first you're adding the odd number 3, and then what's the next biggest odd number after 3? It's 5. And then after 5 it would be 7. And so guess what? What would be I want you to think, what would be the next one? What would be the term value here? If we're adding 3, then 5, then 7, this would be add 9. And so 16 plus 9, 25. So that would be the next one. Okay, so I just recreated the table without the pictures. Another way to look at the rule is to use powers. So looking at all of the term values here, we think, okay, how can we move from term number 1 to term value 1? What do we do to 1 to get to 1? Well, we can do 1 times 1. Or that's also 1 to the power of 2. What do we do to 2 to get to 4? 2 times 2, which is also 2 to the power of 2. What do we do to 3? 3 times 3, which is also 3 to the power of 3. And then the next one, 4 to 16, is 4 times 4, which is also 4. Oh, sorry. Oops, I put 3 to the power of 3 here. It's 3 to the power of 2. 3 to the power of 2, and 4 times 4 is also 4 to the power of 2. So another way to do this rule, or another rule to come up with, is term number or term value equals the term number to the power of 2. Because isn't it each one of these to the power of 2? Isn't that what we got for the answer here? So it's the term number to the power of 2 is going to give you that term value. 1 to the power of 1 is 1. 1 to the power of 2 is 1. 2 to the power of 2 is 4. 3 to the power of 2 is 9. And 4 to the power of 2 is 16. Okay, did another chart for you. We have the term numbers on the left-hand side in chronological order from 1 to 5. We have the pictures. Now we have to figure out the term value. So for the first term number, we look at the picture. There are 4 circles. The term value is 4. For the second term number, there are 7 circles, which means the term value is 7. For the third term number, there are 10 circles, which means the term value is 10. And for the fourth term number, there are 13 circles, which means the term value is 13. So then our next step is to see what are each of the values increasing by. So from 4 to 7, increasing by 3. 7 to 10, increasing by 3. 10 to 13, increasing by 3. So one way to see this pattern is, well, what do we start with? We start with 4, right? Because in our pattern, this is what it would look like in a sequence. So then our rule would be start at 4, and add 3 each time. Another way to look at this pattern is that the value of each term is 1 more than 3 times the term number. So for example, the term number is 3. The term number is 1 for the first one. I'm just going to do it down here. 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Okay, if you take the second term number, I'm just going to draw an arrow over here. If you go the term number times 3 equals 6, plus 1 equals 7. Same with the third term number. 3, fix that there. 3 times 3 plus 1 equals 10, etc. So another way to do this pattern is the term number times 3 plus 1 will give you the term value. Okay, so this is your key question for homework based on the video. Okay, you're just going to follow the instructions here. Don't forget, to help you with the rule, see what each term number is increasing by. And you say, how do I move from the term number to the term value? What do I have to multiply by the term number? What do I have to add to the term number? What's the pattern between the term values? So go back and watch the video again if there's anything that didn't make sense or you need to review again, because this can be very difficult. Patterning is not super easy for a lot of people. So I would suggest, for sure watch the video again and then do that question. Okay, and don't forget to submit it on Google Classroom, and I will see you tomorrow.